Virginia, as a state as a whole, exceeds the U.S. personal income, 108% in Virginia. And if you look at our neighbors, aside from Maryland, everybody has a smaller, in the South, has a smaller percentage of U.S. personal income than Virginia. Maryland, for example, is 118% of the U.S. personal income. North Carolina drops down to 86%. When you're down to Kentucky, you're talking about 78%. In West Virginia, you're talking about 75%. That's how Virginia as a whole stands in terms of personal income. But if you break out the personal income in Virginia by region, by those regions that we were talking about earlier, in Northern Virginia, that top line across the top, when we're talking about $51,000 average person per capita income, in Virginia it's almost 53,000. In Northern Virginia, the line you're looking at the top shows that we're at 71,600, when the state is averaging 52,900. Drop down, if you would, to the very bottom lines of the chart, and you'll see that in Southwest and Southside Virginia, the average per capita income is less than half what it is in Northern Virginia. So the idea that you could somehow go down the state and take some money from them and improve the roads in Fairfax, improve the schools, and do all the things we need to do, we could take from the poor and give to the rich? I don't think so. Not there. When per capita income of Virginia and its regions are compared with other states, Virginia exceeds the national amount as the 12th wealthiest state in the Union. Virginia is the 12th wealthiest state in the Union. 3 regions of Virginia exceed the U.S. per capita income, and we looked at those earlier, Northern Virginia and areas. At the same time, listen to this, 3 regions of Virginia have per capita income less than Mississippi, the poorest state in the country. Parts of Virginia are the wealthiest, while other parts are the poorest in the United States. We are a state of extremes, and again, I think it's a matter of public policy. We have to understand how that works. We're very rich, and we're very poor. Here's the true value of property compared again across the regions, and I'm not going to go through all of these other than to say that, as you'd expect, that big old green line that goes all the way across the top is the value of personal property in 2015 in Northern Virginia. The second line you're looking at is Hampton Roads. The third line is South Central. And when you drop on down to the bottom, I'm sorry, but it's Southwest and South Side again, and the Valley. So when you say to people, we need to do more to fund our schools, we need to be able to raise the money in Fairfax and keep it for our schools, keep in mind that the way you fund schools from the local level is through the value of the property, right? Well, take a look at that chart there and tell me how you're going to fund the schools in Southwest and South Virginia if you're going for the notion that we should just simply take the money and bring it back to Northern Virginia. Number one, the Supreme Court's not going to allow it. And number two, it'd be immoral. And number three, from a practical political purpose, wouldn't be a smart idea to do it that way. So that's part of the problem that we have in tying up a cost of social needs and so on that we have with taxing property. If you look at adjusted gross income, another measure of value, the chart's inverted this time, Southwest and South Side as having the lowest adjusted gross income, all the way up to Hampton Roads, South Central Virginia, and not the bottom, of course, it's Northern Virginia. I know I seem to be making the point over and over again, but sometimes I have trouble convincing people that the differences are that great across the Commonwealth. And I make the point to try to simply fix it in your mind that we need to be mindful of the needs of others as we approach responding to the needs of ourselves. Students qualifying for free or reduced price food. Across the top, it's South Side and Southwest again. I'm not intending to pick on them, simply to point out where they stand in relation to others. And across the bottom again is Northern Virginia, with the smallest percentage of students qualifying for free and reduced lunch. Now this is a percentage number we're looking at here. 31% in Northern Virginia. In Southwest Side Virginia, it's 72% of the children qualify across the population for free or reduced lunch. Southwest Virginia, it's 65. Looking at Hampton Roads, it's 50%, and in the Valley, it's 46%. If you change those percentages to number of children, it turns out that Southside and Southwest is on top of the chart, but remember, you're working with a very small population.